Welcome to my little class on how to fix a remote. First thing most people would like to learn probably is just how to take one apart. This one is off an Epson projector, and the way they're put together is they have male and female tabs. One's there, one's there, one's there. And in this case, this one had two screws in the back. And there's the female tabs on that one. And the two screws, which were carefully hidden underneath the cover that I had to pop off to access those two screws. Once two screws are out, the back end pulls up, and then you can just run a knife blade down along the edge, working progressively from back to forward on both sides, and it'll separate. Then you just pull it straight out. Once you get it out, you'll have the top piece, in this case an auxiliary cover, the bottom piece, printed circuit board, and then the overlay that goes on the inside with all the little contacts that make the remote work. Here's what the same unit looks like when it's fully put together. This one works. The one that I have here does not. It does not come on at all. Using my trusty meter, I determined that this little switch was bad. It's an on-off switch. I decided I could live without an on-off switch on this one, since I take the batteries out of the unit anyway. I usually use it once or twice a month, so I just use it and then take the batteries out and use it again. This one's a spare, so all I really did was took the soldering iron and bridged the connectors to the switch, and hopefully that'll fix it. We'll get back to that a little bit later in the video. But if you're unfortunate enough that you have spilt Coke or coffee on your remote, once you get it apart, if you go back and you'll clean all these surfaces thoroughly as best you can using WD-40 as a solvent, and wipe it down with a clean rag, get any trace of the syrup off, and then make sure you clean this. You can probably clean this with soap and water, and get all the syrup off of that. Then once you can pop it back together, you'll probably be in pretty good shape, unless it's managed to work its way down into one of the switches. But usually, most of it winds up on the overlay, and a little WD-40 will take care of the problem. Secondary note is probably the most common cause outside of coffee or Coke for a remote not working is you left the batteries in too long, didn't use the unit, and the batteries leaked out. The acid managed to coat all the connection surfaces. As long as it didn't get back and mess up anything on the printed circuit board, a little Dremel tool work on these surfaces, and then the ones that are in the device will probably take care of that. If you don't have a Dremel tool, very useful device, you probably want to get a hold of one. But you probably can do the same thing with a real fine sandpaper, just to clean the surfaces off so it makes a good contact. But a Dremel tool and a wire brush is excellent for creating a problem where the battery is leaked out inside a remote. One more tip when you're working on remotes or something where you're not sure what's actually inside of it. I tend to prefer to do all my work where I've got to take something apart on the floor in a very confined open area, so if there are any little parts that fall out that I wasn't expecting, at least I can find them, and usually I can determine where they went back in the device. If you're doing this off the top of a table and extra parts fall out, you may have a problem locating those parts, and of course without those parts the device you're trying to repair is useless. But again, I do all my repair of devices while I'm literally laying on the floor, and I've generally found out that helps avoid any disasters in my repairs. Okay, I'm back, and the repaired remote works. One final note on repairing remotes. Again, best thing to do when you get ready to work on one is to check it over thoroughly if there are any labels or anything that are on the bottom of it, make sure there are no hidden screws underneath those labels. They do like to put labels back over top of screws. Hope you found this useful. If you did, check back often. I'll be publishing other videos on YouTube about bearing repairs, and we'll hit a wide variety of subjects. Till then, take care. Have an excellent day. Bye.